We've all had a few days, maybe a week, where you got to stay home and do whatever you want. Play games, watch movies, read, whatever. It doesn't really matter what we did. What matters is that we came back to school, came back to work, and came back to our regularly scheduled lives. Some people don't. And what I mean by this is that some people completely disconnect from society, skipping out on work, school, or any form of social interaction, instead opting for complete isolation. This phenomenon is so common in Japan that they've coined their own term for it. Hikikomori. And it usually looks like this, or sometimes even like this. You may look at this and ask, why Japan? Well, to start, these hikikomori typically build these dens in their parents' house. And living with your parents isn't out of the ordinary in Japan. In fact, most Japanese already don't leave their parents' house until they get married. So, the hikikomori lifestyle is an extremely easy safety net to fall into, and one with little motivating factor to escape. There's also the Japanese school system, which puts a large emphasis on academic performance. So for those who cannot live up to these high standards, they are often pushed to the fringes of society. There's also the general Japanese social climate, one of conformity and sticking to social norms. So again, for those who don't fall within those social norms, they are pushed to the fringes of society, where they are left isolated. And it's on these isolated, lonely fringes where this phenomenon develops. And again, you may look at this image and say, this is pretty extreme. How common can this really be? Well, current estimates show between 1.25 million or even up to 2 million Japanese citizens have been living in this condition for 6 months or more. Again, 6 months sounds like a long time. Well, hikikomori typically lasts about 1 to 4 years, with many cases lasting up to a decade or longer. There's even extreme cases where this phenomenon will cause these people to refuse to leave their house even if they are sick. So many of these hikikomori die of easily curable medical diseases simply because they were too scared to leave. So clearly, this is an issue, and it's a rising one too. With the rise of the internet, these people have infinite entertainment to fill up their days. In addition to this, the rise of services like DoorDash and Uber Eats means even for those without parents to rely on, this lifestyle is achievable. Lastly, we cannot forget about COVID, which forced us all to live like hikikomori, and many of us found the lifestyle too comfortable to leave. So again, clearly this is an issue, but how do we approach it? Well, the Japanese government has tried many practical solutions. They've released online guides and offered online social settings for these people. And while these have had some effect, they're far from curbing the issue. Instead, I would argue the solution comes from us, the people, and the actions we can take. The first of these actions being understanding these people. Across the many interviews of hikikomori, there exists one common sentiment that they all express. It is this feeling of invisibility. These people feel as if nobody noticed them and that nobody would care whether they participated in society or whether they did not. So they simply choose to not. And this issue doesn't happen overnight. It's a snowball effect. So the easiest way to stop it is catching it early. And while this phenomenon may have started in Japan, it is nowhere near exclusive to it. In fact, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, this phenomenon has spread across the world. So, if you notice a friend, an acquaintance, even a colleague beginning to withdraw, isolate themselves, not come to school or work as much as they usually do, skip out on social outings that they normally would have come to. Talk to them about it. Knowing at least somebody notices and somebody cares for them can make all the difference between a decade of hikikomori and a decade of a normal life. Thank you.